Hey everyone, it's Anthony here from Weekend Garage. Today I'll be taking you guys along with what it's like to own a C63 S. We have now passed 1 month ownership on this vehicle. So the C63 S has been my dream car since I was young. So with that being said, the issues that arise and the costs associated, I have a higher tolerance for it if it does incur. But I'm going to show you guys that it's not always expensive bills, and a lot of the things you can do yourself, which is what we are taking this car in for. I'm going to show you guys, all the basics, how to change oil, diff oil, maintenance. When it comes to brakes, these 390 mil, if you come closer, these 390 mil brakes, they are very expensive to replace. Just the fronts are about $4,000 for the rotors if you're going OEM, because it's a two-piece floating rotor. And these aren't even the carbon ceramic ones, and it's still that expensive. After driving 2,000 kilometers, people are saying the tires are gonna bald out like, you're driving on slicks or whatever. It's been fine. If you drive it normally, there's nothing wrong with it. As you can see, the tires are still looking good. It's just the brake wear looks kind of higher than usual, or the brake dust. So I'm gonna be changing to aftermarket pads probably with less dust, is what I'm seeing on the forums. But the tires don't just melt. It really depends on how you drive. If every day you just start off in first gear and you're doing donuts and ripping, doing power slides, then obviously it's gonna go bald. But if you drive it normally as a daily, even with a spirited pull every day, it's fine. As long as you're not doing off the light onto red line and such, where you're getting a lot of wheel spin. If you're dropping down to third gear on the highway, no problem. It's not gonna burn out that fast. I'm gonna show you guys, if you guys do decide to own it, that it's not that expensive and scary as the Reddit forums say, as the MB forum says. Those are probably really high kilometer cars or really high mileage cars with no maintenance that you see doing takeovers, or they're doing burnouts every other day, or they're bouncing off the limiter before you even warm up the engine. This is going to be a properly maintained car with a mature owner with proper maintenance. So with that being said, if something still breaks on this car with all the preventative maintenance that I'm going to be doing, we'll know that it's the build quality and not the ownership's fault. So the main competition for these cars, especially the sedan, it's going to be the M3 or the RS5s. But if you guys are shopping for C63s, those will be out the window because this is a V8. So this is a very understated car. It just looks like a black sedan if you don't know what it is, but it's actually a 500 horsepower car. If you're watching this video, you probably know already, but if you don't, let me share more insight into this vehicle. It is a rear wheel drive vehicle with the e-diff, which can electronically control the power going to the back and the split. With that being said, let's talk about the interior quality. I'm 6 feet tall, so I'm gonna sit in it just to show you guys what it's like for your passengers. Nothing special, nice and comfortable. It's like a regular sedan, but when we go to the back is where the magic happens. That's what it looks like. It's not too roomy. On the driver's side, the seat's set all the way back, so it's a lot tighter. So if we actually sit in here, this is where we're at, and my headroom. My head doesn't hit the roof because it's not like a CLS or X6, but not that big. Better for kids, in my opinion, or smaller people, like a girl or something, or your kids. When it comes to the trunk space, there's plenty in this vehicle. The seats also fold down on both sides, 60-40 split. If you were to pull this handle here, I'm gonna open the door so you guys can see it. Here, come take a look right here. So look at that front driver's seat. I'm gonna pull the release for the seat. And being a Mercedes, look, once you pull the handle, the front seat automatically moves forward. So if you were to drop these seats for more storage, it won't hit your driver's seat. Things you don't see in other vehicles. And once it moves, it doesn't go back to the old position, even if you fold it back up. But that's where the memory seats come in. So I have mine saved to seat number 1. So you just hold that and your seat will retract back to its normal operation position. This is what it's like in the driver's position. These are the comfort seats, not the sport. You can retrofit it to the sport bucket seats if you want, but these are a lot more comfortable, to be honest. The interior is a little bit outdated for a 17. The steering wheel is nice. It's got Alcantara leather with a race stripe in the middle. And the analog gauges I actually prefer over the digital display. However, there's no touchscreen or wireless CarPlay with this display. We're gonna do upgrades down the road, new displays, updated retrofitted wheel, and possibly the digital gauge as well, which can be fixed if you guys are looking for one in these years. I believe 19 plus vehicles have the facelifted interior, but it's not far from what you're seeing here. So as for the interior, these are all the buttons we have. We have the traction control, there's multiple stages. You can control the suspension, the stiffness. You can do this right here, that's the manual transmission selector. So once you hit it, it's not going to upshift or downshift for you, it's going to be fully manual. This is where you select the drive modes, you know, individual, comfort, sport, sport plus, and race, where you can do launch control. And then you've got the exhaust button here, auto start stop, and this is a 360 camera, which this vehicle doesn't have. And then honestly, for this vehicle, since it's so fast for the city, most of the time I have it in comfort mode because there's not enough space for you to really rip it. And it's so easy to get your license taken and your vehicle impounded here in Canada. You can't really rip it that crazy anyways, especially on a 500 horsepower car. So coming from a BMW and a Ram truck previously, I'd give this interior, in terms of comfort, I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10. That being said, this is a sportier car and you're not in it for comfort, but if you were to daily drive it, which I do, you want it to be comfortable, right? You're not going to be in the red lines all the time. You're not doing 300 every day. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I'm in comfort. Even with comfort, the power you need to pass, it's all there. You touch the throttle like 20%, you're already doing 150. So you don't really need to change it into Race Plus and those modes, because once you do, it breaks your back in those modes. You hit a pothole or you hit a manhole cover, your back is already broken. And I'm a pretty young guy. I'm used to, you know, stiffer cars, and I'm still feeling it now, even on these sport or even on these comfort seats. So if you have the sport bucket seats, it'll ride even harder. That'll get old really quickly. Once you get the car initially, you'll think, yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna take the beating. I'm not gonna feel it. That's what it's like having a sports car, but it gets old really fast. I've only had this car for a month, and this being my dream car back in the day when I was younger, I have a higher tolerance already for issues, and if it rides bad or the gas is bad or it eats tires, I already have a higher tolerance, and I'm thinking these are an issue already. These are little things, you know, that you don't think about prior to owning the car, but if it's your only car, you want to look out for. This is my second vehicle, so if it's a really bad day or the weather's bad, I don't drive this car because I can hop into a larger truck. But if you live in a place where you only have one car, you want to factor that in. So most of you that are looking at the C63 S, it's going to be because of the V8 Biturbo. And I'm going to let you know something. When you drive this vehicle, since it has the dual clutch transmission, regardless if you have the facelifted one or the pre-facelift, which is this one, pre-facelift has the 7 gears and the facelift has 9 gears. And being that it's a dual clutch, when you put it in drive and you hit the gas, it doesn't move when you're in drive. It's kind of like a manual car. Once you hit the gas, you can feel the clutch engage and then your car will move forward. So sometimes in parking lots, when you're trying to get out fast, you throw it in drive and you hit the gas, the clutch will be kind of delayed onto holding onto the gear. So which means if you gas it too much, you get into like 2.5k revs, even though it starts in second gear being a V8, you're gonna feel a really quick jolt, which can catch you off guard sometimes. That's only if you're trying to get out fast. And if you switch gears to reverse, it kind of takes a second for it to engage in the gear. So with the ZF cars and the newer BMWs and such, I didn't notice that delay in shifting from drive, park, and reverse. However, this, I know it's normal with DCTs, even on BMWs, but do know that when purchasing this vehicle. All right, so I'm gonna pop the hood for you guys just to show you what it looks like under. So why I chose the C63 S over the other vehicles like the E63 or the S63 is because there's less electronics. There's no air suspension, there's no massage seats, and all these other electronics that could go wrong. This is strictly for the driving experience. And at the price point where you can get the M177 engine paired with the dual clutch 7G, that is hard to beat. Now that it's depreciated, to find a vehicle this clean with not a single leak or accidents, one owner, dealer maintained, it's hard to come by. Compared to M3s and M4s, inline sixes were cool. I had one previously, the 3-liter. I don't like to buy the same cars with the same engine. It's very boring. You know, life is short, so I try to experience as many things as I can. These engines are handcrafted, as you can see here. The whole block and assembly is done by Lucas Math. I've pulled up his LinkedIn here. So Lucas, if the engine blows up, you're going to be hearing from me. It looks like he's been with AMG for over 10 years, so he must be solid. So anyways, that concludes today's video. If you guys want to know what it's like to own this vehicle, and over time we're going to make more documentation on it when we do servicing or if issues arise, fingers crossed, hopefully it doesn't. But if you guys are interested in this vehicle and you want to know things about it that I haven't shown today, just leave a comment below or email us directly. Thank you for watching, everyone. Hope this video helped you guys out. See you guys in the next one.